everyone, this is Hannah with the Rocket Miner bringing you today's update on COVID-19 news. Today in Sweetwater County, after 15 days with no new COVID-19 cases, we had our 11th positive COVID-19 case confirmed. A Rock Springs woman was notified today that she has contracted the virus, and Memorial Hospital of Sweetwater County was notified by a private lab of this case. They said that this woman is in her 50s and she is in good condition and self-isolating at home. And this is, as I said, the 11th official lab-confirmed case in Sweetwater County. It's also the first positive case we've had since April 14th, 15 days since we've had one. The previous 10 lab-confirmed positive cases that we had here have all recovered, and there have also been 7 probable cases here in Sweetwater County, and 5 of those have recovered. So this morning we were down to only 2 active cases, and those were both the probable cases, and they were in good condition with mild symptoms. And so today now we have one more active lab-confirmed case, and she'll be isolating at home, and they're going to start doing contact tracing on her and to see if there are other probable cases connected to her. The press release from the hospital and the Emergency Operations Center said, as the state and counties begin to ease restrictions, healthcare providers say it is more important than ever to remain vigilant in the fight against the spread of COVID-19. So today in Wyoming, as of the time of this recording, the Wyoming Health Department is reporting 404 confirmed cases, 140 probable cases, and 371 recovered cases. And this actually doesn't yet include the new Sweetwater County case from today, so we know there's at least 405 confirmed cases, and we'll probably see that number go up again tomorrow as that and other confirmed cases are factored in. Today, Governor Mark Gordon did another live stream press conference media briefing. It sounds like he's going to be doing a lot of those this week, especially, doing one almost every day. So you can always check in and watch those on the PBS Wyoming Facebook and YouTube pages. They have all of the live streams he's previously done, and then you'll be able to watch the new live streams each day. So in today's press briefing, he and Dr. Alexia Harris spoke, as well as Josh Dorrell, the director of the Wyoming Business Council, and together they all addressed Wyoming's plans for reopening some of the businesses, relaxing restrictions, and going forward over the next couple of weeks. Governor Gordon specified that when it comes to the types of businesses that are being allowed to reopen, which includes gyms and salons and places like that, he said that the reason that those have been chosen as places that can reopen right now is because they're places where people have more limited contact with each other, and exposure to other people can be limited more by taking precautionary measures. If you want more details on some of the specifics about those restrictions and procedures that are going to be in place as these businesses reopen, today's Sweetwater County COVID-19 Emergency Operations Center situation report that they sent out has a good rundown of some of those restrictions and which places will be requiring people to wear masks or people to stay 6 feet apart, or which ones have limits on the number of people that are allowed in a certain place. So you can go read more of those details there, and that's uploaded also on rocketminer.com. During the governor's press conference, when Josh Dorrell, the director of the Wyoming Business Council, spoke, he just talked about some of the stuff that the council's been doing and how they, in making these plans, have been working on finding the balance between helping businesses, helping our economy, but also protecting people and protecting lives and keeping people safe. He also noted that a lot of Wyoming business owners have pointed out, they said that if there's a cycle of starting up and shutting down, that could be more devastating to them than just the shutdown itself. So if we start opening things and then people aren't following procedures, we start getting more spikes of positive cases and we have to shut down the businesses again, going through that over and over is going to be more damaging to the economy in the long run. So as hard as it is to have the shutdown and have places closed for extended periods of time, it's actually better in the long run if we can take care of the virus and the precautions that we need right now and not have to keep going through this same cycle. That'll be better for the economy and for the businesses themselves. So he said that with that in mind, they're just being really careful about the plans they make and how they do things. He went through and addressed some of the frequently asked questions that they've been getting about these reopenings. He clarified that when there are restrictions on how many people can be in a building, that includes both the employees and the clients or the patrons of that business. It's the total number of people, no matter who they are. He addressed the question some places like gyms and fitness centers were asking about classes. Classes are prohibited, can't have those yet, but he said that there's some flexibility with that. Like one person was asking, can I do a yoga class if we do it outside? And he said things like that will probably be okay as long as there is still proper social distancing in place. He also noted that business owners especially need to be looking for COVID-19 symptoms in their employees and in their customers. And he said that taking temperatures as people enter isn't required in the procedures that they have now, but he said that that's a good idea and a good precaution. And he had a few other questions that he addressed just about what those restrictions and reopenings are going to look like. He also pointed out that the Wyoming Business Council has been doing webinars to work with Wyoming businesses and to help them. And this week and in the next couple of days, they're planning on doing some special webinar sessions for businesses that will help clarify and answer questions about the new plans and the easing of restrictions. And you can get more information about those webinars and how to be a part of that at rocketmine.com as well. The governor also noted a few other policy changes and things that we're looking at going forward. He said that the policy that requires people who are traveling into Wyoming from out of state to quarantine for 2 weeks is going to continue until May 8th. So after May 8th, if people come in from out of state, they won't be under that order and requirement to quarantine anymore. But the governor said they're still asking people to limit the amount of travel into Wyoming from out of state. He also said that there's a plan to open state park campgrounds to Wyoming residents only on May 15th. And he said once those campgrounds reopen, of course there will be more guidelines and procedures and safety procedures that need to be followed to keep things safe. But those will be open for Wyoming residents later this month, May 15th. And then also during the press conference, Dr. Alexi Harris noted that Wyoming has received 15 Abbott ID Now machines. And these are machines that do a molecular test for COVID-19, so it's another testing system. And those have been sent out around the state, so hopefully as we're able to start using those, that will help us do even more tests and get even more quicker and more accurate results. So with all of these different things going on and considerations today as we as a state are trying to move forward and figure out what the next steps are, it just seems like everyone who's in charge and everyone, all of our health officials and everybody looking at this is stressing that we really need to keep being careful. Even as we ease up restrictions, we have to be just as careful as we were being, if not being more careful than ever now. I think that the new Sweetwater case shows that this disease is still active, it's still here, it can still spread. It was awesome that we went 15 days without any new cases, but that doesn't mean that it's done or that we're over it or that we're back to normal yet. Because as we've seen now, there can be a new confirmed case at any time and people could still have it without even having been tested, and they could be spreading it if they don't realize that they're sick. So we're not out of the woods yet. We are finding ways to move forward and to find new normals, but we have to be careful with how we proceed and how we're doing this. During the press conference, the governor and Josh Durrell and Dr. Harris all really stressed how important it is as we ease these restrictions, as we start opening places. It's so important for the businesses to be following the safety procedures that are outlined in these orders for them. And it's especially important for patrons and customers to respect those safety procedures and to abide by that and to take it seriously. Dr. Harris gave the example. She said that when gyms start reopening, it's going to be really tempting for people to use that as a way to socialize. And she said people are going to want to get together and like hang out at the gyms. But she said it's really important for us to be careful and resist that urge and still keep proper social distancing and keep those things in place. And I know that it's definitely tempting as things start opening again to want to just go back to normal, but we're not there yet. We're finding a new normal that still requires precautions and requires things that we've never had to do in our lives before, like wearing masks and face coverings when we go out in public, or washing our hands more often, or sanitizing things like our phones and frequently touched surfaces on a regular basis. But as we start opening places, we're going to be going out and doing more things, being around more people, so it's even more important to make sure that we are taking those steps to be careful so that we limit the spread of this disease and we don't have another spike that will put us right back where we were. Governor Gordon said that we don't want to be taking one step forward and then 2 steps back. We need to just keep taking steps forward and keep gaining ground as we move forward with this. And he said it is absolutely imperative that we do not lose the ground we gained, and that we do not surrender our advance against this terrible virus. So as we go forward into a new normal, just encourage everyone to keep being smart and being safe and taking the precautions that we need so that we can beat this and we can all move forward and get back to our lives together. Thank you. Keep checking with us for more updates and have a good night.